Hello, beloved folks. It's good to be with you today. It's good to have an opportunity to share some thoughts with you that I hope will be helpful for you. But if they're not, I would set them aside. I want you to remember that you are infinitely precious and unconditionally loved for the gift you already are right in this very moment. It's important that we remember that about ourselves, because as we begin to internalize that message, we can also begin to see it in others as well. We no longer find ourselves having to compare ourselves to someone else. Today, I wanted to continue a theme I picked up on this past weekend in worship, which was surprising encounters with the holy, with the divine. Maybe not so much surprising as unexpected, unanticipated, that come upon us in unexpected ways at unexpected times. So the story from this past weekend was the story of two disciples on the day of resurrection, on Easter day, leaving the city of Jerusalem and heading back home to Emmaus outside of Jerusalem. They run into a stranger on the road. That's who it appears to be to them, a stranger on the road. And when they get to Emmaus, they invite the stranger through hospitality to come to the house, to come and share a meal with them. And as they're sitting at table, the stranger blesses the bread, picks it up and breaks it. And suddenly they realize it's the Christ, that Christ was with them all along in strange, unexpected ways. Without going into any great depth about some things, I've, been having some questions about faith, doubts, struggles. I think that, if I'm being honest, I expect that in most people in faith. And there are usually two responses to the struggles we have with faith. We either repress those struggles out of fear, or we try to ask the right questions to come to grips with the struggles and uncertainties and doubts that we have. And perhaps something appears. Now, this morning I was sitting in my chair and serendipity happened once again. Some of the questions I've been asking, I picked up one of the books that's sitting next to my chair where I do my morning meditations. I picked up one of the books, and there are a lot of books sitting next to the chair, but this one I picked up, and there was a section I had read yesterday, but in order to move on, I wanted to read part of that previous section in preparation to move forward. Enough about the backstory. So when I read the back section that I read yesterday, it said a whole new thing to me today. And in a way, it set me free from some of my fears and concerns and anxieties that I had been carried about some of my doubts and struggles with the divine. I knew that this was a divine moment when the author had spoken directly to me in that moment. Now, it didn't happen to be the Bible. We talk about Lectio Divina as a sacred reading. And for me, that book that I was reading this morning was indeed a sacred reading. It opened to me a whole new way of seeing that I had missed before. And this is the same text I read yesterday. And reading it today opened my eyes. Now, other people speak of different kinds of serendipity in their lives. A butterfly lands on their shoulder. A bird eats out of the palm of their hand. A cloud passes by, and its shape reminds them of something important in their lives. And so they claim that. They claim that as a serendipitous moment, perhaps even an epiphany or a theophany, an appearance of the divine to them in that moment. I believe the divine is waiting to appear to us in every moment. Just we aren't always awake to the reality. The unexpected sneaks up on us. And those ambushes, those divine ambushes happen to us. We almost need to be ambushed because we have so many protective layers we have against encountering the divine and the holy in our everyday lives. We think it only happens in certain places. We think that it only happens, for instance, in a holy spot, in some kind of sacred space, a church, a mosque, a synagogue, um, sangha, somewhere that there is a location that is holy. And all locations, quite frankly, are holy. And every moment is holy and sacred. And the divine is all around us all the time and within us and as us in every given moment. So the fact that we only get serendipitous moments sometimes is perhaps because only when we're ready does the teacher arise. And what we need to hear in that moment is what we need to hear in that moment. So what I want to invite you to do, to reflect on and to do, I'm going to invite myself to do it too, to just try to let go of your expectations for today. Try to let go of your expectations of where God's going to show up in your day. And sort of maintain an open heart as you enter your day. It may be the exact same afternoon, evening, whatever time of day you're watching this. It might be kind of a pattern you've fallen into, and you just expect this is what's going to happen. This is how I'm going to make my meal. This is what I'm going to eat. This is blah, blah. You have a pattern. Instead of letting yourself fall into that pattern, let each thing that you do, perhaps as you make a meal, or as you sit down to take a bite of your meal, wherever you are, let each one of those be a moment that you savor, that you enjoy. And perhaps in a moment of savoring and enjoying and being as fully present as you can be to what's going on, not just going through the motions, not just falling into patterns, but being attentive to the moment, you might catch a glimpse of the divine right there, the sacred appearing to you in that food you're eating, in that breath you're taking, in that flower that's blooming, in the cold wind that catches your face in wintertime, whatever it is. Be on the lookout for the unexpected and try to open your heart to whatever comes. Until the next time, remember you are infinitely precious and unconditionally loved for the gift you are. And I hope you have a good day, week, until the next time.